Welcome to the source. The source. Source. Hey, get the source.
Yo, oh, whoops. There we go. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. It's officially Tuesday. Man, I deserve that under. I don't care what anyone says. I deserve that under. That was tough. Well, I mean, everything that could have gone wrong for an under went wrong. There was a 64-yard touchdown, a 50-yard touchdown. The Cowboys turned it over inside their own 25 twice. And if you count the sack on 4th and long at the end, like when they went for it at the very end, they turned it over inside their own 33 times. There was a defensive touchdown. Everything that could possibly go wrong for an under went wrong, and it still almost hit. It still came down to the last freaking drive. AOD, what's up, man? All right. So we're not waiting for viewers. Most people watch this in the morning. For those of you that are here, get some sleep, man. No, seriously. Lipscomb on the road to Kentucky. I don't know why they chose this game, but
Andy chose it.
All right, Andy. I'm just the host.
I thought it would have a better line, I'll be honest. But because Ken Palm had it at 16. Yeah, Ken Palm has a 16, so I thought it would be a better line. These are two opposite teams. I mean, they're close in pace, but I don't know, they're opposites in pace, but they're close in styles. Like, they like to shoot the three a lot. Obviously, Lipscomb, everybody knows that. I would lean Kentucky here. I know it's a bit of a letdown situation, right? They've had a really, really high tempo week, right? Coming off the win over Cooper Flag and Duke, but I think this team's just so talented. I think they're one of the top 3 teams in the country. I think this is a good spot for them. They're defending really, really well, which is surprising. I thought that was going to be their issue, but because they're all veterans, it's helping them. So they don't seem like a team that's going to be worried about a letdown spot. So this is the game I probably feel least about, but I will say I think Kentucky will cover this.
Yeah, I completely agree. What Andy fails to mention is that Mark Pope has assembled the Avengers. And when he does this, it is just an absolute joy to watch. Everything about this team. I think Andy hit the nail on the head as far as defensively, because what they were able to do against Cooper Flag and whatnot. I mean, I think that part of that's the coaching staff. I mean, I think if you're a college basketball fan, everybody has seen the video of him in the timeout talking about it, calling it up and calling it how's this going to be. But again, when you have a Kentucky team that's stacked with guys like Lamont Butler, Jackson Robinson, Andrew Carr, Amari Williams, Kobe Brea, Colin Chandler, Kirk Risa. All these guys are seniors except for Chandler. It's just, and they've already started to look good. And what was really impressive against Duke was not only did their offense kind of sputter a little bit in that first part, the later half of that first half, but the 3 ball was there on a neutral floor. Kentucky still shot 40% from deep. Now, one may say they might not shoot like that all year. I don't know, but they were able to do that against Bucknell and Wright State. And I have a hard time believing they don't do that here tonight or tomorrow night against Lipscomb, who's been decent, but they're middle of the pack. And Andy's right. The styles are completely different. Kentucky, a top 25 team as far as average possession length. They're trying to get up and get down the floor. Lipscomb is in like the mid 200s. They want to make this game essentially a crawl. The only thing, I mean, if I would be inclined maybe to take Lipscomb I think their shooting could get there. But as far as that, I mean, they're shooting 30% from deep right now, and they've actually played a decent schedule. I mean, Duquesne, Arkansas, Belmont, Western Kentucky, Wofford. I mean, all those teams are essentially top 150 teams besides Duquesne, and they won that Duquesne game, by the way. But I lean Kentucky. I don't know if I'm actually going to land or lay the 20. If it starts coming up, then maybe we can look at a Kentucky team total just because of the pace. But the one thing about Lipscomb is that they're really experienced as well. Kentucky's a top 5 team as far as experience. Lipscomb's top 42, so it's not like you're going to see a huge drop off there. One thing that's huge though is the depth. Kentucky, you can use so many guys. Obviously, like I call them, the Avengers. Lipscomb, they use like 6 guys, and that's about it. So I think that towards the end of the game is when Kentucky really steps on their throat. But yeah, it's Kentucky or pass for sure.
I got a trend in the comments from Rod Zawacki. He says, Bet against Lenny Acuff, and I guess that's the coach of Lincecum. Said bet against Lenny Acuff in away or neutral games against teams who average 40 or more rebounds a game. 40 more rebounds a game on the season. Acuff's record as the coach of Lipscomb, 0-6 against the spread in those instances. That's a wild one, bro.
There you go.
That is a wild one. Well, hold on. Based on what Toast just said about, I got a bet for you. Based on what Toast just said, Lipscomb first half, the line's not open.
Yeah, I don't hate that either. I don't hate that.
All right.
Especially if you can get 12 and a half, something like that. That'd be really nice.
Yeah, Lipscomb first half. That's what I want.
And if you do tail that, I would look at the line whenever it drops and then give it a couple hours because most likely Kentucky's going to get bet up. That's a very good chance of that.
Andy, what the hell even is this? Evansville?
Yeah, that's another one. Thought it'd be a better line, but I do have a bet. I really like.
What is this? What is this school even?
Is
He's been talking about this game for 2
Evansville?
hours.
Evansville.
Evansville.
You know Evansville.
You better have a freaking lock. In this.
You don't know the Purple Aces? Come on, Sauce.
Man. Yeah, I like the under here. Both teams run slow paces. Evansville shoots a lot of threes. Pretty much all they do. They're 39th in three-point attempts. No, they're 8th in three-point attempts. That's a lot of three-pointers. They're facing a team that has faced good teams and defended the three well. I mean, Texas A&M and Texas have been the two best teams on Ohio State's schedule. They did lose that Ohio State. They lost the Texas A&M game pretty badly, but they're defending the three well, and they're facing a team that pretty much only wants to shoot threes. There's not going to be a lot of possessions in this game because it's going to be a slow-paced game. So I really like the under here. Ohio State would probably have to score 90 for this to hit. I mean, I think they're going to crush them, but they would have to put up a lot of points, and I don't necessarily think that they're going to do that. It may be because it's a huge step down in class. Maybe they would, but no, I see this game being very slow, boring. I don't worry about any backdoor or anything because I think Ohio State will be able to take their guys out with 8 minutes left. So I think this will be an ugly one, but it'll hit the under.
Toast, anything for this?
I was trying to get to Evansville just because I'm not really sold on Ohio State yet. They've looked very, very good. Even in that Texas A&M game, I don't know if you can count on Texas A&M or a team like Texas A&M to shoot 40% from deep on a night-to-night basis. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy for thinking that, but I just don't really see that. But I also, at the same time, this is a part of Ohio State's schedule where they have a week, 2 weeks of just absolute cupcake games at home. Again, they're shooting really good from the outside, but they're not really shooting really good from anywhere else. They can shoot free throws decently. I just want to see a little bit more from Ohio State offensively before I lay a big number. So yeah, I would agree with Andy with the under. I think the Evansville team total under would be a better look as well, just because of the pace and Ohio State at home after getting embarrassed on the road. I think they're going to be up for this game. So I don't want to lay the 26, but I don't think Evansville scores that much either.
All right, let's move on to the next game. And finally, a decent look here. Purdue coming off a huge win where you guys doubted them. Oh, no, Andy didn't. Toast doubted them.
I love them.
We got Purdue. Is this
I did doubt Shaka. That's on me.
Wait, hold on. No. You doubted Purdue against Alabama.
And I doubted both of these teams. I still stand pat on the Purdue game. Good for them. Good for them.
What?
Yeah,
that's
wrong,
right.
Andy? Am I wrong?
No, it kind of went how I expected.
Exactly. I thought that Alabama would make some shots. I almost said a bad word. I'm not going to do it. They weren't very good that night. Mark Sears was trying to be a facilitator. Just score the basketball, dude. What are you there for? Just score. Yeah. Now he wants to be a facilitator on the road in Mackey. It's just a genius decision by Mark.
Is this a true road game?
Yes.
Yeah, it's at Pfizer Forum.
All right, whoever wants to go.
I love Marquette here. I might be silly for it. It keeps getting bet up too because I think it's open.
Yeah, I've already bet it. I bet it and posted it at 2.5. It's up to 3.5 now, probably up to close to 4. Sorry, Andy.
Pretty simple. We mentioned it. It was the environment is the reason I think Purdue beat Alabama. I think if that game was played in an MTE or at Alabama or neutral anywhere, that game might have probably gone to Alabama. I think the environment played a huge role. Purdue, I still worry about their rebounding. I think I'm worried about their rebounding here too. Significant height advantage. Yeah, they're going to get out rebounded a lot this year. I know Last year, they obviously had the best rebounder in the country. Now you're in a different situation. And they've also lost their best rebounder as well to an injury already, or the guy they expected to be their best rebounder. I think they're going to get out-rebounded, a lot of extra possessions. It's not an environment they're going to want to play in. It's a Marquette home game. Marquette I know it's an NBA arena, but it's not an easy place to play. They have a good environment. Shaka's built something great there. So, and Marquette runs fast as hell with them. They run very similar paces. So it's not like Marquette's going to get run around. Alabama runs a pretty decent pace too, but not like this. This is Shaka smart defense. I don't think this is a good matchup for Purdue at all.
Yeah, I completely agree. I bet Marquette as soon as it opened. What we saw against that Alabama, I think that's probably, if not the best, you're going to see what Purdue has available. I mean, obviously, excuse me, Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer are very, very good guards. But when you talk about them in this matchup, in this game against Marquette, you have guys like Cam Jones, Stevie Mitchell, Chase Ross, who are all 6'5", 6'3", even David Joplin, 6'8". So, and then when you look at the Purdue side, those guys are like really, really small. Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, none of those guys are pushing. Braden Smith's 6 foot, Fletcher Lawyer's 6'5", but he plays like he's 5'10". I just don't see how Shaka Smart defensively doesn't put these guys in an absolute blender. And then on the other side, what has Purdue have been really, really good at so far this year? Limiting the 3-ball. Marquette wants nothing to do with shooting outside, nothing at all. Everything they're going to do is get at the rim and stuff like that. So I think this is a great matchup for Marquette. I also think this is an absolute letdown of all letdown spots, because keep in mind, I don't think Purdue looked particularly good against Yale. But they were at home in Mackey against a Yale team that was still top 100-ish on KenPom. I still think they're a little bit overrated. But my point being is that they still didn't look good against Yale. I think that's the best you're going to see from Purdue for a while. I actually think that Marquette wins by multiple possessions here.
So Rod Zawacki says, I guess in the Ohio State Evansville game, he said bet against Ohio State on the money line after a loss by 10 points or more. Since last year, they're 1-8. Yeah, but most of those are probably Big Ten games. They're not we're better bet.
I was going to say
Evansville money line.
I would like to see the average line of those.
Because this one's plus 3,400.
Yeah.
And then
also,
he said,
just for the record, Zags, cash, air, just like I said.
Air.
I'm mad I didn't tell you on that. That's so obvious.
He also said, bet on Purdue in away or neutral games versus top caliber teams, outscoring opponents by 12-plus points per game. Purdue record since last year, 9-1 against the number.
But they don't have Lance Jones and Zach Edey anymore. So.
Yeah, that's true. They were probably out rebounding everybody in those games.
I would probably just go over.
I respect it.
Marquette teams go over.
Also, really quickly, my other favorite thing I like to look at, one team in Marquette, one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country. The other team, Purdue, one of the worst free throw shooting teams in the country.
Oh, good old Sanford. I remember Sanford.
We're battling on this one.
Yeah,
it's 17?
Yeah.
17.5.
Yeah, dude.
No, it's not.
Who's on January, February, Izzo?
What do you think?
Who do you think, dude? I'm never not. This one's, not simple. I do think it's more complicated than the other ones, but the way that I look at it is Sanford only wants to shoot three. Very similar to the Kentucky game. They're 26th in three-point attempts. Michigan State defends the three very well. They're not playing bad teams. They played Niagara. They played the first couple. They defended the three against Kansas very well. They look like a very tough team to score on. That's not the issue that Toast has. Toast's issue is how is Michigan State going to score? Because they can't shoot threes to save their life. Granted, they never can.
They can't shoot threes, and they're also like bottom third in the country in effective field goal percentage. But go ahead.
For them to cover this number, I need them to use the size advantage, which is very significant. They're 44th at average height. Stanford's 295. They're also really good scoring inside. They are, let me get the number. They are 77th in 2-point field goal percentage. Stanford's 245. So that's a significant. They're going to need to eat inside, and I think that they can. And I don't think Stanford's going to be able to score very much. They want to shoot only threes, and this is a really hard team to score on, and especially shoot threes. So that's my opinion. It's also a significant. It's the similar paces, so I don't worry about like Sanford shocking them. Like some smaller schools will go into like a Michigan State, like a bigger school, and they'll shock them with how fast they are and how much they want to shoot threes. That's not going to happen here because Michigan State can defend the three, and they're really fast as well. So I personally think Michigan State's going to dog walk them, but.
Well, you might be right. I mean, I was confident at 15.5. It's 17.5 right now. I really wanted to come in here and talk about Buckyball, but then that line movement really bothers me now. But yeah, Buckyball, Bucky McMillan. It's just chaos. It's controlled chaos. Everything that he does, offensively, defensively, they like to trap. Offensively, it's run fast pace, shoot a whole bunch of threes, and that's what they're going to do. But they're also really good at free throw shooting. It's not like a fade of Michigan State or anything like that. I just think that when you have a Michigan State team that's probably going to win this game by multiple possessions, I'm not debating that, but they're a team that plays a lot of guys 1 through 9. I just think that in the second half of this game, I don't know what Michigan State really has. I mean, keep in mind their next 3 games: Colorado, Minnesota, Nebraska. I just think this is a little bit of a sleepy spot for January, February, March Izzo. So Sanford can shoot the 3. Michigan State can defend it, but I also think that Sanford's probably going to get, especially running with Michigan State, who likes to play at pace too. I mean, you got to agree, Andy, we're probably seeing at least 75, 80 possessions from each team, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So as long, and that's where I just feel like I don't feel like this number should be that big. So sleepy spot, a team that's actually Sanford is not really easy to prepare for, even though you are one of the greats in Izzo. I just thought it was too many points, but I won't lie. I was comfortable at 15.5. It's at 17.5 and probably still going up. Maybe I fucked up.
No, you got this one. It's Andy. It's not September, October, Izzo. It's January, February.
Text messages. He said that, and I said, "Well, it's November, so."
Yeah, November's not Izzo's month. It's January, February, Izzo. Not September, October, Izzo.
He literally wrote that verbatim as our response to. Well, January, February.
I gave the actual points to. That's just what I default to.
I know, but it's just funny.
Default to that. I did that during the tournament last year too, and you guys laughed at me.
I laughed at you all tournament, and you kicked my ass. So congratulations, Andy. The belt will be back on my hips soon.
Rod says in the comments, bet on Sanford after bet on Sanford. I like this guy. Bet on Sanford after 2 straight games where they made 10 or more 3-point shots. Sanford's record since the 2024 season, isn't that now? I'm assuming he means last season. 9-1 against the spread. And someone said, Christopher Strickland says, I work at Sanford. Believe me, under plus 18 by tomorrow. Talk to the coach.
This is why I love the late night streams. You get all the inside information. Everybody else is out here capping games and stuff. We got Chris in the comments.
Strickland's chilling with the fucking coach right now, man.
Yeah, dude.
He's telling us. I just spoke with the coach, he said.
Yo, if you're hanging out with Buckyball, congratulations. That's awesome
for you, man.
All right. What is this game, Andy?
UC Riverside against Santa Clara.
This is mine.
Yeah, this is him. I think this is the second-rated game of the day, to be honest.
It is, actually. That's part of the reason why I said that, too. But a little bit of West Coast bias. But
yeah, go crazy. This is you.
Yeah, go crazy. Okay. I just really like the spot for Santa Clara. I think that everybody, especially in that St. Louis game, a lot of people bet that game because it was one of the first games of the year. There was a lot of talk about that. They ended up going in another neutral site game right after that, 4 days later, and playing an Arizona State team that I think Andy would agree with this. Anybody thought that they would be this good this early this year. Right? Mike, you would agree with that?
They look like they're going to be a tournament team. So
exactly. So I don't really put too much stock into a 7-point loss there on a neutral with the Arizona State team. The North Dakota State, I'm just talking about Santa Clara, the North Dakota State loss at home in overtime. I can't really say anything bad about that. It was just an absolute meltdown from them in the later half of the game. They were up, I want to say 10 points with like 9 minutes to go or something like that. That lead wilted away, and then in overtime they just got absolutely mollywopped. So, and then then they catch a hot Nevada team on the road. They got absolutely demolished, and now they come and play a UC Riverside. I just think that the line tells us a lot. This UC Riverside has actually played really well to start the year. Oregon, BYU, Cal Baptist. Now, I understand that Cal Baptist doesn't really do much for a lot of people, but as far as us college basketball people, they're like a top 150 team. So as far as scheduling goes, UC Riverside has like the 8th best schedule so far in the country. So it's not like they're playing anybody bad. But They're coming off a game where they didn't play a ranked team. You got Santa Clara coming home after 3 straight, 2 of them being really bad losses, or I'm sorry, really close losses, one of them just being a dumb loss. I think they get right here today. The Santa Clara offense doesn't turn the ball over. UC Riverside doesn't produce any turnovers. I think Santa Clara should be eating inside with Tilly and stuff like that. Tilly's a 7-foot monster for them. I just think that Santa Clara is too big. It's going to be too big and too physical. I think they're going to out rebound them. And I really think that the offense is going to kick into gear. Santa Clara is like a top 100 offense in the country right now. So I think that the 3-point shooting is only going to get better from Santa Clara as well. I don't think they're going to shoot 25% all year. I think being back home helps as well. And also just one other thing about as far as Santa Clara's scheduling, they're top 70 in the country as well. So it's not like they're playing nobodies. UC Riverside just played some really good, decent mid-level competition.
Got Rod in the comments.
7.5 now? Damn, I got it at 5. I mean, that changes things a little bit, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Rod says, bet on UC Riverside after a game where they made 13 or more 3-point shots. UC Riverside's record since last year, 6-0 against the spread.
Rod, how many of those games came against teams that weren't Division 1?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Bet on Mike Magpio. I don't know who that is, Rod. It's like one of the coaches.
Yes,
I didn't hear what he said.
It's Riverside's coach.
Riverside's coach. Yes.
Bet on Mike Magpio in away or neutral games after a blowout win by 20 points or more. Magpio's record as coach of UC Riverside, 7-0. All right, Rod. I'm putting Riverside up.
Now, I will say that Riverside shot the lights out versus La Sierra, a non-Division 1 school. But when they did play Cal Baptist, number 160 in Ken Palm, they shot 3 for 14 from deep. So just take it with a little bit of grain of salt. Just a little one. That's all I'm saying.
Andy, I think we go Riverside here, right?
I'd be on Santa Clara. Significant size advantage. The rebounding is going to be in Santa Clara. Some extra possessions there. And I agree with them. I think eventually they're going to shoot better than this. UC Riverside, a lot of their good shooting against, obviously La Sierra, whoever that is. They did play Oregon and BYU, like he said. So that was a good start to the season. Some tougher games, but so it kind of hinders their stats a little bit. But I just think Santa Clara is more talented. They'll get extra possessions to rebound. I mean, the size advantage is 222 to like 240. Like that's one of our 22 to 240 an average. I messed up. It's 22 to 240. That's significant. It's probably one of the worst in terms of difference tomorrow in the game. So yeah, I think Santa Clara will crush them. Although it does keep getting higher. The higher it gets, a little more nervous.
Yeah, I was gonna say even at 7.5, it gives me a little bit of pause with Santa Clara, especially if it touches 8.5. I mean, I don't know how much is going to keep going. I'd stay away. But another point, just really quickly for the nerds out there, as far as Santa Clara's 3-point shooting concerned, Carlos Stewart and Tyree Bryan are both guys that have in their career have shot the ball very well. In Charleston Southern, Bryan was shooting over 43%. He shot almost 40% last year from deep. And Stewart is the same type of way, over 42% or 42% 2 years ago for Santa Clara. Didn't do anything with LSU last year. I think sooner or later that's going to come up and he'll start hitting some shots.
So you got Santa Clara at 5?
Yeah, or maybe 5.5, but yeah, one of the two.
Mom has it at 3, so that's a significant jump.
I know that's why I was like 7.5, because I knew Ken Palm had it at 3, and I was already pushing a little bit of the panic button at 5.5. But
I'm rolling with with Rod here with his trends. Riverside up. I'm rolling with Magpio.
They're gonna win outright. God damn it!
All right, that's the last game we have, right? Do we have another one?
That's the last. Those are the
last one.
All right, guys, have a good night. See you at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Andy, you're gonna send me that Indiana Ohio State.
Oh yeah.
So we're getting that up too. Indiana Ohio State video. Andy's about to finish it and send it over, and I'll upload it. So for those of you staying up for a while, probably be up in like a half hour. Everyone, good night. See you tomorrow.